Hello class, my name is Bobby Craig and I'll be your instructor for music appreciation. Wanted to spend just a few minutes in this video to talk to you about what you can expect from the class and what you can expect from me and what my expectations of you are. We'll look through the syllabus here in a few minutes and I'll try to describe some of the assignments better for you. So hopefully this video will be informative in many ways. First of all, who am I? I am the worship pastor over at Hyde Park Baptist Church. I've been over there for about 4 years now, and I've been teaching at RCC for 3 of those years, and thoroughly enjoyed my time here. But my past in music is a long one. I actually started playing trombone in middle school, in fifth grade, yeah, and then I started playing baritone or euphonium in high school. Played that through college and seminary. I had or a bachelor degree in music from Samford University in Birmingham, Alabama, and I have a master's degree of music from Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary in Fort Worth, Texas. I also am currently pursuing my Doctor of Worship Studies at Liberty University online, and I've been enjoying that process. But a little bit more about music appreciation. And first, we got to talk about what is music. So many definitions out there, but probably the most concise and the best and simplest definition I've heard is that music is just organized sound and silence. You know, you hear a lot of sound around you all day long, but is it organized? Not necessarily all the time, but music is organized sound and silence. So, what is appreciation then? The dictionary simply says it's the recognition and enjoyment of the good qualities of someone or something. You know, pretty basic definition. Well, if you put those two together, then you get that music appreciation is the recognition and enjoyment of the good qualities of organized sound and silence. And I want to read to you this quote from Aaron Copland. Let me get this out of the way so you can see that a little bit better. And this quote kind of helps us understand a whole lot about the class. We want to find the good in everything that we listen to. Copeland says it this way: all books on understanding music are agreed about one point. You can't develop a better appreciation of the art merely by reading a book about it. If you want to understand music better, you can do nothing more important than listen to it. Nothing can possibly take the place of listening to music. And so our text, which is called "Listen to This," it is a textbook where every chapter is a different piece of music throughout the history of music, and each one gives us an idea of the progression of music throughout history. And so each one kind of adds a little bit more information, a little bit more understanding, and just kind of helps us understand how we got to music today. And the first 15 pages of the text are foundational to the whole process. And what they do is they will take us through the elements of music, things like melody and harmony and texture and timbre. And don't get worried, you'll learn all that in the text. But what this is going to do is it's going to give us a foundation in our discussion about music, rather than just saying, I don't like this or I don't like that. This will give us some content to interact with the music on many levels. Now, as we get together and we start talking about the class, before you do anything, I want you to take just a few seconds and get out your cell phone and subscribe to this text group right here. What this will do is this will put you guys into a text group, and that way if I ever need to make any announcements, any last minute changes, this can be one of the ways that I can reach out to you as a group. So what you do is the number you'd send it to is 81010. If that doesn't work, you can use this number up here. And what you want to send in that text is the at mus110sp20. And again, that'll just put us in a group so we can communicate with each other a little bit better. All right, so let's get to the syllabus. First of all, what you'll find on RCC's website is your course. And when you get to the course, it's the 2020 ASP, which is Spring Music Appreciation. And you'll see this lovely picture here at the top. That'll make sure that you're in the right place, okay? We'll read through some of these things and see if you got any questions and send them to me. But the syllabus right here is what you really want to get to. And so once you click on this syllabus, it'll download to your computer, and it will allow you to look at what we're about to look at here. So here's the syllabus, and you can see my contact information over here, and the fact that I do not have an office on campus. So text me through the Moodle platform or send me an email through this email address, and I'll do my best to get back with you as soon as I can, okay? But really want to get to a few specific things down here. Now, first of all, you see your required textbook is this by Mark Bonds called called Listen to This, created by Revel. Well, the good news is you don't have to buy this text. It's a part of your course fees. It's a part of Moodle. So let's go back over here to Moodle. And what you'll see in the Moodle Blackboard platform is you'll see this Revel textbook access right here. And when you click on that, it's going to take you to the textbook. It should take you directly to it, and you shouldn't have to do any sort of sign in or any sort of login password kind of combination. Once you see this, click on it and it'll open up your textbook. Now this should do it on your mobile phones, it should do it on any of your computers, it should do it in any browser. I'm using Chrome, it seems to work the best for this. And what you'll see in this textbook is the table of contents over here. You can look at these other things, but honestly, this is really the only part we're using is the table of contents, which takes us to every chapter. So you can see our chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, and each one of those is a different piece of music by a different composer. Okay. Now, when you get into the textbook, you'll see a few different things. I'm just going to pick this one right here, I guess. Once you start in here, you will have the option to read, but you can also have it read to you. Which is kind of an interesting thing if you're driving. If you got a long drive to school one day or something, you can put this in, turn it on, and you can listen to your textbook, and then you don't have to read it. And here's where you do that. Up here in the corner, you click on these little headphones, and it'll open up the audio playlist. And
Chapter 3.
You can hear them reading to you right now. Okay, so you can close that up, and you can go to different parts of the chapter in order to get to what you need to listen to. But the most important part of each of these chapters is when you get to the place where you can listen to the piece of music. Okay, so there's a little bit of history on that first page. The second page takes you to a little bit more information about this particular piece of music and things in this piece that helps us to understand history of music. Go over to our next page and we get to what's called the listening guide. And the listening guide is where you'll hear the actual piece of music, and this is what you really need to spend some time in. So once you click on this page, it will take you to the link that will let you listen to it. And you can see here a couple different things. First of all, you got play buttons at the top and the bottom. You've got a play timeline right here that you can go to different places in the piece. But what you also notice are these categories right here. Now these are some of the things that we talk about on the first 15 pages, these elements of music, form and timbre and melody, harmony, texture, those sorts of things. And so these are the parts of the chapter that they're really trying to teach you about this piece of music. And so you can see these things change as you scroll through. You see this dot change right here, and that's going to change it up there on those categories. Same thing when you get to this dot, you got other things changing. And so you can follow along the piece up here. You'll also see English translations for anything that's in another language. Now there's some other benefits here as well. This scrolling guide is a little bit more vertical than this horizontal kind of thing. So you can see that it's going to go down each section here, and you got columns instead of rows. So whichever way you like to look at it is good. The narrated guide is really interesting in a lot of ways. Not all of the chapters have this, but what it'll do is it'll have the guy reading to you during the piece of music, and it'll give you some ideas about this piece and what you need to listen for.
The chant Alleluia, Caro Mea, is a chant from the Mass for the Feast of Corpus Christi.
Okay, so he's telling you a little bit of history about it. Let's go down here a little bit further.
Melody, the repeat.
So the music started.
And now the chorus responds.
and then he's telling you a few things about the piece during the piece. So it's very helpful sometimes to have this narrator help you through the process. Okay. Now, when you get to the end of a chapter, there are some other things going on. You can see this quiz. Well, the quizzes within each chapter, within each or within the text. Now, these don't amount to any points towards your points here in the class, but they are terribly helpful for helping you remember some things that you might need to know for later. And so you can go in here and answer each of these questions. You can go through the process, and I don't even know what I'm looking at here, but anyway, you can go through each question, and it'll help you remember some things that you might need to know. When you get to the end of the whole thing, you have the possibility of remembering all this stuff, and it will help you see your progress through each of the chapters of what you've done well with and what you need to work on more. But again, these points don't matter, so don't worry about how good or bad you do in these particular quizzes. Okay. And let's see if there's anything else I need to touch here. So we were on this one. Nope, that covers everything in the textbook. Okay, so let's go back over to Moodle, and we'll go back to this main page of our class. And this was our textbook right here. And you keep on going down, and you'll see a couple other things down here. Number one, the writing helps and how to write a great paragraph. Everything in this class is a writing assignment, almost everything. And you really need to know how to write well, and these two websites will help you learn to write better, and especially this one about how to write a great paragraph, because all of our forum assignments are simple little paragraphs. Okay, but here's the first thing you need to do before you do any of these other things. Do this required enrollment assignment. This must be completed before you can get to anything else in the class. Okay. And it's also important because if you don't do this assignment soon enough, then you'll get dropped from the class by the computers because they don't see you as being in attendance in this online format. Okay, so go ahead and click on this. It's only a couple question quiz, not even really a quiz. It's just asking you questions about the class, and it's not hard or anything like that. Okay, all right. So now you scroll on down and you see the actual content of the class. So what you'll do is each week, I've got the dates up here for the week. It might be toggled closed like this, and so you might not be able to see everything, but open that up and you can see here's the reading assignments for this week. So the first week of class, you need to read the first 15 pages. From those 15 pages, some of these assignments are related. And so what we have, I'll get more to the assignments here in just a few minutes, but with each week, you have a certain amount of reading. So here you got 6 chapters plus the introductory for the Middle Ages era, and you got 4 assignments. In most of the weeks, I think you have 4 assignments every week. Okay, and again, we'll talk more about that in just a moment when we get to the syllabus. But notice down here on the last week, May 4th through 11th is more than a week. And what we have in that week is we have an extra day on the Monday after this week. So everything else in this class is due, everything else in this week is due on Sunday night, May the 10th. But the final exam, you have the day of May 11th as well. And what we need there is for you to be able to finish it so we can get all the grades in a proper amount of time to all the people at RCC that need those grades. Okay, so that's why we have those dates on there. Now, each one of these other weeks, everything in that class is due by midnight on Sunday night of that week. Okay, so everything is due by Sunday night of that week. Okay. Now, one of the things about all these due dates as well is every single one of these assignments is open as soon as you finish the required enrollment assignment. Now, what that means is I don't accept anything late. Let me say that again. I don't accept anything late because everything in this class is open from the very first day. And so you can bust your tail and you can do your work all in 1 or 2 weeks, and you can have the whole class done in no time. if you wanted to. And so that's one of the things about this class is everything's open to you from the beginning, but each week has the things that are due that week, due by midnight of Sunday. Okay. All right, let's look at the syllabus. I'm talking too much here. So back to the syllabus, and here's how I do grading. A lot of other courses, I've got no problem with what they do, but they do a lot of stuff in percentages and weighting and that sort of thing. And quizzes are weighted heavier than other assignments and whatnot. Here, no, it's just easier to do addition. And so right now you got 0 points. And every assignment that you do, you're adding points to your grade. And so each little assignment has different point values. And so, for example, we have a couple different types of forums. You can see our instructor forums are 10 points each. We get over here to a special forum, which is 20 points. We'll talk more about these in a minute. Our quizzes, each one is worth 10 points. Media assignments, you can see these are the big deals because they're 80 points each. And so, again, we'll talk more about those in a minute. And the final exam at 100 points. So here's what happens, though, is all of those points add up to be 660 points. So that's the total amount of points if you made a perfect score on every single thing that we have. Okay? But here's the thing. In order to get an A in this class, you just need 450 to 500 points. Okay? If you got more than that, then those are just extra points. But this is the thing about it is I don't have any extra credit at the end of this course. There's no one assignment that is an extra credit assignment. There's nothing that you can do outside of class, going to a concert that gets extra points. The extra points are built into the assignments. So you just need to do well on the assignments and you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about any extra points that you need at the end of the class. Okay. So again, once you get to 450 to 500 points, you got an A. And there's nothing you can do to lose points in this class. So once you've earned your points, then those points are yours, and you just move up from there. Okay. Now, the final exam, like I said earlier, is built into May the 11th. And also, if you plan on withdrawing from the class, you need to do that before April the 21st because that is the deadline for that to happen. Okay. Now, with our attendance, RCC has a 75% attendance policy. This is a 48 contact hour course, which means that 25% of that is 12 hours, which means that you can miss 12 hours of instruction. Well, here's the thing. How do you do attendance with online classes? Well, what we have in this class is every single week is worth 6 hours. Okay. So of those 12 hours, you can see if you miss all the assignments in 1 week and you don't do any assignment in 1 week, you're already halfway to where you're able to miss. Okay, so just make sure you do something every week and you'll never have to worry about missing too many classes. Okay, so that's the way that the assignment policy works. Now let's talk about the assignments real quick. First of all, make sure you do that required enrollment assignment must be done, okay? Now I've got instructor forums. These forums are where I'll just post a question or a comment and I want you to respond. And you need to respond in a paragraph format, 5 to 7 sentences or so, and at least 150 words, okay? Now in each of our forums, I've got a word minimum. And this is the hardest thing that students have an issue with is if you don't meet the minimum word count, there's no way that you can get the maximum amount of points available. Okay, so make sure you meet the minimum word count and you don't have to worry about that. Okay, the second type of forum is a PAP or a pick a passage forum, and this is for you. As you're reading through the textbook, you find something that's really interesting, something you didn't know, something that is really cool, something that you want to maybe look at a little bit further. Put that away in your mind, and this is where you get a chance to bring it back up. Because this is any passage, statement, paragraph, image, anything that really catches your attention and is really interesting to you. And all I want you to do is describe why that thing is interesting to you. Okay, So there you just take another 150 words, or 5 to 7 sentences or so in a paragraph, and try to answer some questions like, what did you like? What did you not like? What kind of information was this? Was this new? Did you know a little bit of this? Did the listening example cause any sort of emotional response? Just things like that, okay? Third type of forum is a special forum. These are worth more points, so there are more words necessary, so a higher minimum word count. And here what I've got in the special forums is I've got an extra video or an extra type of assignment that you'll need to interact with and write about. Each one of those has its own instructions. Let me show you what I mean there. So let's go down to a special forum, and this one, for example, if I click on that, you can see we got a video to watch, and I got a couple questions about this particular video. Okay, and so each one of those special forums is going to have a different thing that I'm asking for from you. Okay, so back to our syllabus. So those are special forums. All right, media assignments. These are the big assignments. These are the research papers. These are the ones that you're going to get the most points from. Okay, now these are pretty simple as far as what you need to do to get them done. Okay, let me go back over here so I can show you what that looks like. So let's get into one of these media assignments. Okay, now notice that you got one on week 2. So you may want to make sure that you're ready for that and you start moving on that. Okay. All right. So click on media assignment, and it's going to give you some instructions here. Make sure you read through the instructions, because most people fail this assignment because they don't follow the instructions. Okay. So first thing you'll want to do is download this template right here. So once you click on this, it'll download a Word file, and that Word file will show you 5 questions. I'll go ahead and download that for you so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so just change your name up here, put the date in, media assignment number 1. Of course, you got number 2 and number 3 coming later in the class. Put the title of the piece that you've chosen right here. I'll explain that in a minute. Leave the questions here. That's simple. And then just input your answer right here. And that way you can see real clearly and easily the questions and the answers side by side. But you can see I've only got 5 questions. I want a paragraph on each question. Okay, 1 sentence answers will not suffice. You will not earn the full amount of points if you only give me 1 or 2 sentences. I'm looking for a paragraph. Okay, and that's why I put at the very beginning of Moodle that place where you can click on how to write a great paragraph. Okay, now this is a research assignment. So you do need to do some research, and you also need to have some sources. I'm asking for 3 sources on each media assignment. Now you've already got one of them taken care of, and that's the video that you're going to watch. I'll show you that in just a second. So find 2 other sources where you can find more information about that piece of music, or about that composer, or something else related to one of these questions, and make sure you cite those sources properly. Up here you would use parenthetical citations, which is the author's name and the date in parentheses after you use some information from a particular source. Then at the end, down here on the works cited page, these are just examples. This is what it should look like, where the periods go, what should be in quotations, what is italicized, that sort of thing. Okay, so delete all this because it doesn't belong in your paper. Okay, this is just examples of what it should look like. So put your 3 sources in here, the YouTube video and the other 2 sources that you go to. For example, one of the videos, the song is in Latin. So you might go to somewhere where you can get a translation of the Latin text, and that is considered a source. Then you know what the English translation of the text is, which will help you interact with these questions in a better way. Okay? All right, so that's the media assignment except for the video part. So let me go back over here. All right, I've got this playlist in YouTube that's got 10 videos in it, okay? You can see right here that it's a playlist. You can click on this little menu, scroll down, and you got 10 videos. So pick one of these 10 videos for each media assignment. Here's just a dare for you. I dare you to do this John Cage's 4 minutes and 33 seconds. I probably wouldn't do it on the first week of class or second week of class, but it might be a good one to do for media assignment number 3 after we've had a chance to talk more about music. But this one is a very challenging piece, and I dare you to do it. But anyway, pick one of these pieces, click on it, watch the video, and then answer the questions here. Okay. And then you'll have a place down here where you can click to upload your file and submit it here. Mine looks different as the instructor. Okay. All right, let's back up to the next part of the syllabus, and this is the ERA quizzes. Okay, each week you got a quiz, and it is as simple as it gets. 10 questions, they're all multiple choice, and they are open book quizzes. They're untimed, so don't have to be in any hurry. Okay, so just answer those 10 questions about that week's reading assignments. And the final exam is not much more difficult. What I've done is I've increased it to 50 questions. Each question is worth 2 points now, but they're all multiple choice questions. And also, it is open book and untimed. The difference here is you can stop and go in this particular quiz. So, you can answer 10 questions and then you can turn it off and come back a week later and answer the next 10 or 15 questions or whatever. I think they're in groups of 10 as you click continue or submit or something along those lines. But make sure you don't click on something that looks like submit all, or it will close you out of the final exam before you may be ready. Okay. Now, again, just a reminder, no assignments will be accepted late, and no extra credit is given as an extra assignment. The extra credit is built into the point values on each one of these things. Okay. Now, a couple tips for you. The Revel textbook is a huge help. The quizzes that are in there, like I showed you, they can help you as you read. It will help you with retention. It'll also contribute to your interaction with future text readings. You can track your performance there to see how you're doing and see if you're keeping up with things. Now, you can also highlight in the textbook. And if you ever see anything in blue highlights, that is something that I have gone in and that I've have highlighted so that you can see that that's a very important piece of information. Now, you can see highlights and notes in the menu on the left. So let's go back to our textbook. I'll show you where that is just so you know. Revel text. Get back to this thing. Oh, I've got it right here. All right, I already got it open, but over here you can see highlights and notes. And right now I don't have anything in there, but highlights and notes will show up right here. Anything that I've highlighted, anything that you've highlighted will show up right here. Okay. All right, back to our syllabus. Now you may want to try to listen to the audio while you read, the audio of him reading it to you, because sometimes hearing it and reading it will help you with your understanding of it. But then also you can maybe listen to the music while you're exercising, while you're running, while you're driving, and it might be a good way to interact with the music and not have to take so much time during other parts of your day. And then lastly, it is imperative that you listen to the musical examples, because learning to appreciate music without actually listening to the music is futile. You can't do that. You just can't learn. You can't appreciate music better. So for better results, here's what I suggest. Read the full chapter first, interact with any of the in-text examples, and then go back and listen to the entire example, and that will help you through the listening guide understand more about that particular piece of music. Okay. Lastly, all Blackboard and Moodle details, they trump this syllabus if there's ever any sort of conflict. Now, there's some other resources. I encourage you to read through this so that you can understand more about disabilities and about some other helps with tutors and that sort of thing that we have on campus at RCC. And then all at the very end is a course schedule. This is also available in Moodle as a separate document. And you can put this up on the fridge or whatever and see what dates are, when things are due, what is due, and how many points they're worth. And here is it on the home page. So the syllabus and then the course schedule. All right, so let me go back over here to the PowerPoint, see if I've missed anything. Syllabus, talked about that. And talked about all that. All right, well, that is everything that we need to talk about in this video. Sorry it got a little bit long, but I hope that that answers all your questions. I look forward to interacting with you guys on the forums. I'll be responding to those and be able to connect with you in that way as well. Again, if you need me, please email me with the email address in the syllabus there. You can also do this little button up here in Moodle, which is a messenger type of thing within the learning environment. Again, I look forward to meeting each of you, and I hope that you enjoy this class as well. And make sure that you do this required enrollment assignment as soon as you possibly can before you try to do anything else. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you in class. Have a good day.